Hi guys, in the previous video I told you about law number 1. Now we're going to explore law number 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. This isn't just any law. It's a critical principle that can make or break your ability to negotiate and effectively. In this ever-changing world where power dynamics continually shift, understanding this law is necessary. It will provide you with the skills to handle any situation with finesse. We're embarking on a captivating journey into the of influence. So get a pen and paper ready because you're going to want to take notes on this one. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. This second law is an intriguing one, isn't it? It's telling us to be wary of those we trust most and to see value in those we may consider our adversaries. Let's break this down a little. The law warns us against placing too much trust in friends. Why, you might ask? Well, it's not to suggest that our friends are inherently untrustworthy, but rather to remind us that power and trust can create a complex dynamic. When too much trust is involved, it can blind us to the potential for betrayal or, at the very least, to the possibility of our friends not acting in our best interests. This is where the second part of the law comes into play. Learning how to use enemies. Now, this doesn't mean you have to start making enemies left and right. Instead, it encourages us to shift our perspective, to see our enemies not just as threats, but also as potential resources. Consider this, your enemies are often more predictable than your friends. They have clear motives and intentions which, when understood, can be used to your advantage. They can provide insights into areas of conflict, helping you to anticipate challenges and strategize accordingly. Furthermore, when you form strategic alliances with those who oppose you, you create a network of power that can be leveraged to your advantage. This network can help you stay ahead of the game, always prepared for any potential threats that may arise. But remember, the key is to keep your friends close but your enemies closer, as the saying goes. This way, you can manage your relationships, anticipate potential threats, and turn them into opportunities. So, the essence of Law 2 is about understanding the dynamics of trust, power, and strategy. It's about playing the long game, not letting emotions cloud your judgment, and using every interaction to your advantage. Think of your enemies as valuable sources of information. This isn't just a catchy phrase, it's a strategy that's been used by some of the world's most powerful leaders throughout history. Let's take a look at a real-world example. Consider a corporate executive who's dealing with a rival company. Instead of viewing this company as a threat, the executive can view it as a source of valuable information. What is the rival company doing differently? What strategies are they using to gain an edge in the market? By studying the competition, the executive can gain insights that can be used to improve their own company's strategies. Now let's delve into the concept of anticipating threats. Imagine a politician who's running for office. They're up against a formidable opponent who's known for their ruthless campaign strategies. Instead of being caught off guard, the politician can anticipate these tactics and prepare countermeasures. For example, they might have a team dedicated to fact-checking the opponent's claims and responding to any false allegations in real time. Turning threats into opportunities is another key aspect of Law 2. Let's consider an entrepreneur who's faced with a negative review online. Instead of ignoring the review or responding defensively, they can use it as an opportunity to show their commitment to customer service. They can respond publicly, apologizing for the customer's bad experience and offering a solution. This not only mitigates the damage of the negative review, but also demonstrates to potential customers that the entrepreneur values their feedback and is willing to go the extra mile to ensure their satisfaction. Finally, let's talk about the concept of strategic alliances. A strategic alliance is not simply a truce between enemies. It's a partnership that can be leveraged for mutual benefit. For instance, two rival businesses might form an alliance to take on a common competitor, or two nations might join forces to address a shared threat. The key to forming successful strategic alliances is to find common ground and to establish clear terms for cooperation. In all these examples, the common thread is the ability to view enemies not as obstacles, but as sources of valuable information and opportunities. This requires a shift in perspective, a willingness to set aside personal feelings, and a keen understanding of the dynamics at play. Remember, power is not about domination, but about strategy and finesse. It's about understanding the landscape, anticipating potential threats, and turning these threats into opportunities. It's about forming strategic alliances and leveraging these alliances to your advantage. And above all, it's about playing the long game. Power is not won in a day. It's built over time through careful planning, strategic maneuvering, and a deep understanding of the dynamics at play. Keep this in mind the next time you find yourself facing an adversary. Instead of viewing them as a threat, view them as an opportunity. It's all about playing the long game and being mindful of the power dynamics at play. Don't let emotions cloud your judgment when it comes to dealing with friends and enemies. That's a crucial advice to remember when navigating the intricate world of power dynamics. It can be tempting to let our feelings take the reins, especially when it comes to our friends and perceived foes. But in the realm of power, emotions must take a backseat to strategy. Imagine emotions as the fog that blurs the battlefield. We need a clear, unobstructed view to plot our moves effectively. That's where rationality comes in. It's like the lighthouse guiding us through the mist, ensuring we don't crash into unseen obstacles. Now, this doesn't mean we should become cold and devoid of feeling. Emotions are part of what makes us human. They can even be useful, guiding us towards empathy and understanding. But when it comes to making strategic decisions, we need to be able to step back, put our emotions aside, and consider the bigger picture. Consider a chess game. Each move isn't based on how much we like or dislike a particular piece. Instead, it's about strategically positioning ourselves to outsmart our opponent. The same applies to the game of power. We need to be able to assess our relationships objectively, recognizing the strengths and weaknesses of both our friends and enemies. It's also important to recognize when others are trying to manipulate our emotions for their own gain. Just as we must keep our feelings in check, we should be wary of those who might use emotional tactics to cloud our judgment. And finally, remember that power isn't just about control. It's about understanding, adapting, and navigating complex relationships. It's about being able to turn potential threats into opportunities and leveraging relationships to our advantage. So, next time you find yourself in a power dynamic, take a step back. Look beyond the veil of emotions and consider the strategic implications. Make decisions based on rational thought, not sentiment. Remember, in the game of power, it's not just about who you know, but also about who you can leverage to your advantage. And there you have it, folks. Law 2, never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. We've taken a deep dive into this specific law from the 48 laws of power and explored its potential in your journey towards mastering power dynamics. Let's take a moment to recap. Trust is a precious commodity, especially when it comes to those we consider our friends. But it's crucial to remember that power isn't about friendship. It's about strategy, maneuvering, and staying one step ahead. So never put blind trust in friends. Instead, learn to identify their motives and actions and use this knowledge to your advantage. And what about they're not just obstacles in our path to power. They're potential allies that can provide valuable information and insights. Remember the old saying, your friends close, but your enemies closer. It's a vital principle when it comes to power dynamics. By understanding your enemies, you can anticipate potential threats and turn them into opportunities. We also discussed the importance of strategic alliances, be it friends or foes. The aim is build a strong network that works in your favor. Power is not just about individual strength, but also about the strength of your alliances. It's about playing the long game. And the key to this is understanding and manipulating the power dynamics at play. Lastly, we touched on the crucial role of emotions in wielding power. It's essential to keep a clear head and not let your feelings cloud your judgment. Power isn't about personal likes or dislikes. It's about strategy, and emotions can often hinder strategic thinking. So, the next time you find yourself in a tricky situation, remember Law 2. Remember the importance of strategy and maneuvering. Remember to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And most importantly, remember to stay one step ahead. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and comment below with your thoughts on Law 2. Stay tuned for our next video, where we will discuss Law number. Until next time, stay powerful.